الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على المبعوث رحمة للعالمين وبعد. Just before this video, we did a video on the definition of Hizbiyyah by Imam Ibn Taymiyyah rahimahullah. This article, which you will also find on our Facebook page, inshallah, the link will be provided, is titled, "Is the Salafi Da'wah a personality cult? My Sheikh does not make mistakes." Imam Ibn Taymiyyah rahimahullah explains, no teacher, meaning of Islamic knowledge, should take an oath of allegiance or threaten his students to be expelled if they don't obey. No teacher should take an oath of allegiance from his students to agree to everything he says, or to be friends of his friends and enemies of his enemies. Ibn Taymiyyah, Majmu'at al-Fatawa, volume 28, page 13. The Salafi Da'wah is a methodology on how to understand and practice the Quran and Sunnah. The Salafi Da'wah is entirely based on the Quran and Sunnah according to the way the Prophet's companions understood and practiced the religion exactly as they learned all this from the Prophet of Allah sallallahu alayhi wasallam. By definition, the Salafi Da'wah is not a personality cult, where a teacher and his followers would, as Ibn Taymiyyah puts it, consider whoever agrees with them as their friend and supporter, and whoever disagrees with them as the aggressor enemy. Ibn Taymiyyah, Majmu'at al-Fatawa, volume 28, page 13. Currently, many among those who ascribe to the Salafi Da'wah fell into this trap, which constitutes a classical case of Hizbiyyah. They appoint a teacher of their choosing, of course, to be that teacher, like the teacher. Others do the same with a teacher of their choice as well. They then start a warfare against each other, often not knowing what the issues of disputes are about, or if the teacher is correct and wrong, their teacher. How can they then, number one, often do not look for evidence from the Quran and Sunnah supporting the stance of their teacher? Number two, even if they do, they very often wouldn't know if the evidence that the teacher gave them is accurate or if it is used accurately. Thus, today, many among those who ascribe to the same da'wah have divided into competing camps, waging surrogate warfare against each other on behalf of their respective teachers. Oftentimes, the teachers don't know what these followers are doing. Meanwhile, they have ignored to a large extent confronting the increasing number of deviant teachers and misguided groups and ideologies that steadily dismantle Islam one creed at a time and one practice at a time. And when one of the sub-teachers or sub-leaders of the competing camps gets tired of all this mayhem, they often switch from one extreme to the other extreme. They get tired and bored from all this warfare. Then they switch from one extreme to the other extreme. Instead of exaggerating in attacking the other competing camps as they used to do, and of course their teachers and sub-teachers and sub-leaders, they now become soft, extreme in tolerating and being lenient with apparent contradictions of the Sunnah and the way of as-Salaf as-Salih. They claim that their earlier harshness, which is their harshness. They did that in contradiction to the Salafi method, which in reality they practiced in defiance of the Salafi da'wah and its normal methods, did not do them or their opponents any good. So they become soft and lenient at the expense of the da'wah and at the expense of the sunnah of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam, even the aqidah sometimes, since they do not challenge the deviants and their deviations effectively as is required from them. Now they're soft now. They want soft and vague, no responses. Some of them engage in social activities, mashallah, after being drowned up to their ears with harshness and attacking and attacking and attacking. Now, no matter the deviations, instead they should defend the Quran and Sunnah and promote obedience to them. As Ibn Taymiyyah explains, I'm going to finish with what Ibn Taymiyyah said here. The teachers and their followers are required to abide by the ordainment of Allah and His Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam, stipulating that they should obey Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and His Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam, implement what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and His Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam commanded, and forbid what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and His Messenger forbade. Ibn Taymiyyah, Majmu'at al-Fatawa, volume 28, page 13. Walhamdulillahi Rabbi al-Alamin.